A new car, 15 grand of your hard-earned on something to make you feel a little special. So it's really annoying when somebody turns up in exactly the same model, in the same colour, with the same registration plate. That's what happens if your car's been cloned, and it could be really bad news.
John Cahill was fast asleep at his home in Birmingham when West Midlands Police gave him an early morning call.
Then suddenly there's a lot of commotion outside, there's a loud noise. I jumped up out of bed, looked outside the window. I've never seen anything like that in my life where there's somebody actually pointing a gun at me, and it does put the fear of God into you. You're thinking on your feet, you know, what's the best action? If I go to the front window, I'm going to shoot. I gestured from the window to hold back down. You don't have to kick the door down or come down and open the door. It was a complete shock. There's a mistake here, that's what you're thinking. There's got to be a mistake. They've come here for a reason, but I'm sure we can sort it out because I know I haven't committed no crimes.
But as far as the police were concerned, John was the prime suspect in an armed robbery.
He says, we've checked the number plate on your car and that you're the registered owner. He told me the car had been witnessed at the scene of a crime and the registration had been taken down. The crime was an armed robbery and it was used as a getaway car. Obviously I'm thinking there can't be two cars the same.
But that's exactly what had happened. There were identical cars. The robbers had copied the number plates from John's MG Rover and put them on their getaway car. After 5.5 hours, John was finally released, yet another victim of car cloning. Essentially, what these guys are doing is a kind of identity theft. But this time, they're not after the contents of your wallet. They don't want your credit card. They don't want your driving licence. What they're after is the identity of your car. Let's be honest, it's an expensive business running a car in London. Parking tickets, speeding fines, the congestion charge, it can all add up. But if you're a criminal, why bother coughing up for all of this? Why not land someone else with your bills while you drive around London with impunity in your car with false number plates? Once these criminals have got your registration number and put it on false plates, they can really cause havoc. Their victims suddenly find themselves plunged into a nightmarish world of endless tickets and fines. That's exactly what happened to Leon Ruiz.
We got this penalty charge notice from Transport for London for allegedly entering the congestion charge zone without having paid the £5 ticket.
In fact, Leon uses the train to get to work and his wife was off sick with a bad back. Neither of them could have possibly driven the car.
I was quite amused when the first one turned up because you think, oh, you know, I've heard of this sort of thing happening and it's quite interesting that it, you know, just happens once. But by the end of the week I'd had 4 of them, each of which you then have to reply to. This was just the start of a 9-month-long struggle to clear his name and find out what was really going on with his registration number. This guy went into the congestion charging zone, to my knowledge, no fewer than 28 different occasions. He also got 2 speeding tickets on the M62 for speeding through roadworks, which I got the benefit of. And he also managed to pick up 3 parking fines in Southwark, which I've just managed to bat the last one of those into touch. The potential cost was huge. Leon now reckons that if he'd paid all the fines, it would have added up to about £8,000. He challenged every single one of them and then started to dig deeper. He looked at the congestion charge notices and found that the driver was going into London on a very regular basis at the same time every morning. Meanwhile, Leon took the train to work. And what I've subsequently found out is that the vehicle that was going into the penalty charge zone wasn't, although it was the same manufacturer, it wasn't the same type as mine, and that annoys me quite a bit.
Well, Ian here is very kindly making up a number plate for me. Now, a couple of years ago, that's all I needed to do. Yeah, mate, here's the numbers, go away and make it. But since then, the law has changed, and I'd need to provide him with at least 2, sometimes 3 forms of identification. Now, if you've lost your number plate and you're a little bit shady, you're not going to come somewhere reputable like this, where they're going to be asking you questions. You'll find another way of getting hold of that plate. We've discovered that there are still plenty of places out there more than happy to sell car number plates without any proof of ID. I've sent our undercover reporter Paul and a team of researchers out onto the streets of London with secret cameras to find out just how easy it is to get hold of fake number plates. Our cover story is that I own some market stalls in Birmingham, but my delivery drivers have to come into London on a daily basis. It's getting really expensive, so Paul's job is to get some false number plates based on real cars from the West Midlands area. Well, we're at our first destination, which is a spare shop in Stratford, East London. Been reliably informed that we could get our number plate here, no questions asked, so I've sent Paul to go and check it out. Let's see what he finds out. I stay back in the crew car on a live link, watching Paul as he's led inside. It quickly becomes clear that they're happy to sell us plates without any proof of ID.
That's 40, yeah? 4.
What's the number?
You want to write it down? K,
K,
H,
R,
P.
26.
Looks like this other guy here he's ringing the number through to someone. I don't know who that would be, but he's maybe the bloke who's making it. Paul now starts talking about why he needs the plates in the first place.
Yeah, the congestion charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that, they just stick it on coming to London.
15 each.
15 each. That's 30, yeah, that's good.
30.
Yeah. That's without any ID, 30 each, yeah? That's good price.
No worries at all. Any kind of registration number, he'll do it for you. That could be your car, could be my car being used.
All right.
Half an hour later, and the plates are done.
Beautiful.
So there you go, 2 new plates and no mention of any ID like a logbook or driving licence, all for just £15 a plate. The shop in Stratford didn't respond to our questions, so I decided to pay them a visit. But we have footage of this place and someone selling number plates to an undercover reporter without offering any kind of checking for ID.
Okay.
Have you got any response to that?
No, I mean, I don't know who did that.
Hang on a minute, who's this bloke then? He looks remarkably familiar. He must have an identical twin brother. Have you ever sold the number plates without any identification?
Yeah, in the past, before the rule was made.
But since the law changed?
Since I've been aware that the law changed, I haven't.
In fact, he sold us these number plates illegally back in the early summer, more than a year after the law had changed. Unless shops like these start thoroughly checking ID, the ringers are going to keep making a killing at our expense.